Hey, what is going on, guys? This is SMB Reviews, and today we are taking a look at that highly anticipated Arctic Monkeys Tranquility based hotel and casino. Let's get to it. Man, the Arctic Monkeys are definitely a band that really interests me. I haven't got to fully dig into every album they've put out, but I have heard a pretty good portion of each, and especially in preparation for this album, I did dig into it. And yes, a lot of critics, obviously, and obviously everyone's noticed that they aren't really a band of one stripe. I mean, they've got different colors, they do different things. So it makes sense that this album might be a little different. And with no singles release, it kind of felt to me, this is how I read the situation, that they didn't really want this album to be judged by the singles because it would probably be a pretty big departure from their sound. Now, I really liked AM. I think at some points it wasn't perfect, but I really did like AM. I think it's got some really good parts and amazing songs in it. And so, honestly, when I heard that they were releasing a new album, I was excited. And then when I heard their style was changing, I don't really mind a style change. I'm optimistic. I thought it would work out well. I definitely like that a little more garage rock, blues inspired sounds of AM, but I also do really like their more punky, bratty earlier days. And so I was optimistic. I thought this would really work. And honestly, it does. So a lot of people have, I'm sure, heard this album by now, and a lot of people are kind of thrown off. This is a piano rock album. It's very different. It's very much a departure of sound, and while they have changed sounds, I'd say a punk rock sound to a garage rock sound is not that big of a difference. This is like garage rock to lounge singer kind of sound. And honestly, it's okay. It's definitely a slow burner. It's not one that's just going to hit you and because when you listen to, let's take AM, there's definitely songs that are going to just pop out and those songs will stick in your mind. Obviously, the singles are incredibly punchy as well as some of the deep cuts, and honestly, it is a album that works well and it has parts that stand out, but even as a whole, it's fine. This album doesn't really have that bam, this is what's either amazing or bad, because yes, there can still be things that stand out that are terrible. Nothing about this really stands out as either. It just kind of stands out. It doesn't stand out. It stands out with nothing. It's just there. So, what is the actual genre of this? I'd said kind of lounge singer, and that's kind of true. It's definitely a little, it's got a lot of ambient sounds. It's got a lot of just psychedelic kind of sounds. Not completely psychedelic, but it definitely does have some of those more spacey and atmospheric type of instrumentation. And it does have a lot of pianos. Pianos are the big instrument in this, whereas their last was definitely fronted by guitars or bass rather than piano. And I could see how that could probably offset a lot of fans. So, as coming into this, it's kind of neutral on them. I think they have good songs, but I've never had enough time to fully dig into their discography. I like them. That's it. That's all I can say. I'm not really a fan. And so when I listen to this album, I actually do like it. But the problem is that I actually think I like their older sound better. I think that older sound just works better for them. I think that that's their style. And while they have kind of changed musical genres, I still see a lot of similarities. They've got a style still. This album kind of departs from all of that. We definitely have the same vocal style and same lyrical style, but the instrumentation's totally different. And I think that it's good. In context of music as a whole, it's good. In context for the Arctic Monkeys, it's alright. And not because the rest of the Arctic Monkeys catalog is amazing and this is just meh. It's actually pretty good. It's just, I think that it wasn't the right fit for them. And if this is what they wanted to make, good on them. But from a critic point of view, I think that they had a style and they had a sound that was very unique to them. And I just hate to see that thrown away because this sounds like something I've heard before. It doesn't sound like some crazy new genre-defining, insanely revolutionary classic of an album. I think that AM, honestly, and even some of the old stuff, Humbug, possibly, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in the Arctic Monkeys catalog, and I could see some of those becoming classics, and some of them already are being defined as such. This I just don't. It's just because it doesn't really stand out. in their catalog, it doesn't really stand out in general. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good. It's just I feel like a lot of other artists do this sound so much better, and the Arctic Monkeys had a sound that was so good. I just hate to see that sound disappear for this. Alex Turner helped produce this, and yeah, it sounds good. It doesn't sound like someone who's a little newer to production, and especially for his first like Arctic Monkeys album production, that sounds really good. I really do like it, and the lyrics, excellent. Honestly, they sound really good, and I really do enjoy them. They sound like all the other Arctic Monkey albums, all their lyrics. And yeah, there definitely are quirky elements, but that's their style. It works. Honestly, if we were taking the lyrics by themselves, it totally works. And hey, the song structure, totally diverse, interesting, really engaging song structure. Oh yeah, that works too. It's just the music. The music just sounds kind of bland, and I hate to say that. Yeah, some of it's different for sure, but it just is not different enough, and that's the really unfortunate part. It doesn't do enough to define it and make their experimentation worthwhile. I feel like maybe if they went with this for a second album, it might work, but this is more testing the waters, and it just didn't really stand out to me, like I said. I feel like there's a lot of albums I'd rather listen to with this same kind of sound. So the title track, Batphone, 4 out of 5, those are really good tracks. Those are probably 3 of the standout tracks. And that's because they're just interesting. They are actually interesting and pull themselves apart from the pack. The rest of the album, I wouldn't really say I have a least favorite song. It's all fine. They may not be amazing, but none of them are just terrible. None of them grind my gears. They're all fine. It's just, as I said, it just doesn't stand out, and I hate that they took this direction just because of that. Now, I do know I'm probably one of the few critics that's not just praising this album, and yes, I actually do really like a lot of it. Like I said, lyrics, if I was basing it off of that, it would be a much better rating, and it's just unfortunate that I feel like the music does not stand out enough. It could be some people's thing, and I could see a lot of Arctic Monkey fans definitely liking it. They might not, just because of the departure in sound, but if they're a big fan, they'll like it. And I'm sure a lot of people, this might bring them in. But with the old albums, they had something that made me want to recommend them. I might talk about them and try to recommend them to a friend. Nothing about this makes me want to recommend it, because there's there's other albums that have done it better, and there's better Arctic Monkeys albums. So, big themes in this album are technology, and worrying about technology. It becomes very paranoid, and he definitely is extremely worried about this, past just the point of, oh yeah, technology is controlling our lives. It's pretty bad, apparently. But I like a lot of it. Some of it's not perfect. I don't think that he always nails it on the head, but there are some really good elements I do really like when he talks about these things. I mean, obviously, Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, the song is kind of about that, parts of it at least, not the full thing, but yeah, I like it. I do. I like a lot of this album. I even like Alex Turner's voice. I mean, I've always liked his voice, and it works well with this style. It really does. I hate it because there's a lot of comparisons being drawn to Leonard Cohen. That's a great example. Not trying to take other people's ideas, but it does work. I mean, it is that kind of loungy kind of style of music. And I feel like there's so many more albums that do it better. There's nothing about this album that stands out. As I said, it's a slow burn, and it's fine, absolutely. Just nothing about it really makes me want to listen to it again, and that's a really unfortunate part here. But again, it is a good album. It's just not great for those reasons. That's really all I have to say, and I know that I really focus on that one point because that's important, honestly. They have a sound that really works. Instead, they kind of made something bland and generic, and it's really unfortunate. It's good. I like it. I just don't think I'll ever have the urge or desire to revisit it. So that's what all I have to say about it. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Alright, what did you guys think? The fans, the not fans, what did you guys think of this album? Please let me know. I'm really curious because I'm hearing a lot of praise about this album, and I feel like I'm probably one of the people that is a little less warm on it. Again, I think it's good. It's just good, though. It's not amazing. It's not perfect. It's just good. So what did you guys think? Please let me know. Also, are there any upcoming albums that you'd like me to check out? As well as anything I can do to improve the quality of my videos. I'm really sorry if you guys heard it. There was a lawnmower just a little while ago. My neighbor was mowing. My apologies, can only do so much to prevent that. I only have so much time, and I just unfortunately had to film. Then I tried to stop the video as he got closer to the house. But yeah, just I apologize for that. But is there anything else I can do to fix the presentation? Please let me know. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching this. It really does mean a lot to me. I'll see you guys later.